Okay, so moving along, motivation. I'll play you a little video clip. Has anybody seen The Office before? I love this clip, primarily because when we engage with our people, if we are starting from this as a baseline,
under strengths, you've just put accounts.
yeah.
That's your job, though. That's just. No, Keith. Well, I was sort of looking for your skills within your job. So, is there anything else you could have put there? No. Okay. Under weaknesses, you've put eczema. Right, you've left this section completely blank, Keith. You haven't done the Q&A.
I thought you filled that in.
No, this is aimed at you. Look, to what extent do you believe that you have the skills and knowledge to perform your job effectively? And then you just tick one of the boxes. Not at all, to some extent, very much so, don't know. What would you tick?
Don't know.
Okay. Question 2. Do you feel you have received adequate training to use your computer effectively?
What are the options?
Same, they're always the same, always the same. Not at all, to some extent, very much so, don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know again. Okay. Do you feel you are given the flexibility to decide how best to accomplish your goals? Do you want the options again?
Yeah.
Not at all. To some extent, always the same. Very much so. What would you put?
What are the options?
Not at all. To some extent. Very much so. Don't know.
Very much so.
Do you remember what the question was?
No.
Okay. Do you... We're going to leave that there.
How would you have handled that? Okay, so sometimes when we're engaging with people, we don't want to start with a baseline, obviously this low. But when I actually first saw that clip, it just brought everything home to me of where we have to get people up here to even begin with. So it's about creating better goals. In order for us to engage with our living brand population, if we're moving them through that be it, own it, all the way up to living it, it's about how we engage with them. As a population, and as a people, as a species, we all require goals. And the reason why we require goals is because we're balancing this timeline that we all share. We all have a past, a present, and a future. And because we're balancing this past, present, and future at all times, the present is so minuscule. And if you get really quantum physics on you, but if you imagine the present is like one tiny pinprick in the entire universe's timeline. Because the second the present happens, it's gone. So really what we're constantly doing is balancing past and future. And sometimes with our employees, they get very caught in a past environment. And if you've ever had people moaning around you, generally listen to the moaning a little bit, and it's about things, oh, I used to like my old manager better. Is that useful? Well, no. We used to do it this way, or I enjoyed that more. But it makes no difference, because once this past state has happened, it becomes just as heavy as this. So what we need to be doing is creating better goals for the future. And it's because this state of the past is non-active. Having a non-active state and looking like it within the training environment, this is the way we've always done it. That is the kind of environment that creates non-activity with our individuals. And that's because that's the species that we are. Over at this side, in our future state, is where we have activity. And the simply way your brain works, if I say, where do you want to be next year? And you tell me, and I say, okay, fine, how are you going to get there? You will have almost 80% more activity in your brain because that's an active state. If I want to be a millionaire next year, and I and that's my goal, then I'm going to have to start doing something right now in order to achieve that. Your energy level in your body completely changes. So what we want to do is create, in terms of the living brand population, the living brand population is always having to go forward. It's about, this is what the customer is seeing. So when we want to make sure we're engaging with our marketing department, maybe we have a little bit of repair to do first, but it's about making sure that even the frontline people are seeing the things before they even go out to the customer. So this is the view that the customer has for next year's ABC company. And this is how we're going to engage with it in order that we bring that alive on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so creating better goals, but better goals for your people, that also in terms of like incentive programs for your people. Giving me something as a gift for something I've done, you've got about 10% win there. Creating a good goal for me to achieve and then giving me the incentive, you've probably got about an 80% win there. Because now that I've experienced the feeling of winning, that's where your addiction brain kicks in. Like a gambler who is addicted, a gambler will be addicted not to the prize, but to the winning of the, or the journey of the prize. Because if I'm a gambler and I win 100,000 euros, do I take that 100,000 euros and walk away and pay off my bills? No. I generally will put it back on the table again, because what I'm addicted to is the win. And so what we want to do is create better programs and incentive programs for our people so they enjoy the winning. And it's not about the prize as much as it is about taking part in the winning of it. Because that is what the body stimulates from, because it's energy. The next thing is about our intuition. And again, this comes back into the owning it phase. Because we have to make, in the front line, we have to make decisions so fast. We don't have the opportunity when you are standing in front of a customer to walk away, talk about it, think about a better way of doing it, do a flip chart, a pie chart, have a consultation, come back to me 2 days later and say, there, here's your answer. When we are in the front line, we act fast. And life is just similar to looking like as if we were driving down the road. At some point, when we are engaging with the customer, you have to make a left-right decision. So when we are actually giving our population, our living brand population, a better opportunity to make decisions in the front line for themselves, if they make the wrong decision, that's fine. If I make a wrong decision and you yell at me or tell me that I've done bad, I probably will rebel against you. However, if you see mistakes as opportunities for the future to get better, then you create an environment with people that actually engages. Because everybody has a human brain that needs to be engaged. So if I make a left-right decision and I go left, and I should have gone left, and I should have gone right, and I go partway down the road and I realize I've made a mistake, I will come back to my point of entry, and then I will go the other way. So it's about how we engage with living brands. Living brands will make mistakes like everybody else. You have made plenty of mistakes in your life, as a person, as I have. But if we actually dwell on the mistake, we hold in the present. And because we're only focusing here at the past. Every mistake is an opportunity to grow. And it's about how that engages back to it. So in that own it phase, if you're actually engaging your population, your frontline population, to give you proper feedback, it's about how we make the feedback go forward as opposed to the individual.